The 8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end. I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
Well, I say go fuck yourself. Then ask a question, could I kill a man? I would enjoy myself. You can't disguise the evil eyes that burn over my head. This devil man and his master plan. We feel so misled, so I say, rise up, take all back. Rise up, take it all back. Rise up. I hope you all understand. We got to take it all back again.
These people are not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
What up, is everybody? How y'all doing? We got Gerald in the house. What's up, Gerald? So we weren't here yesterday because Riddle Girl had some out-of-town family stopping by. I gotta clean the darn cat hair off of these. It's like a cat hair magnet. But she had a nephew stop in from East Texas. And he was Lake Havasu. It was like 3 hours away from Phoenix. And then he was going to go to Vegas. And so, you know, we found out that he was there because I believe his mother talked to Heidi about, to Riddle Girl about it. And so he's like, yeah, I'll go over there. And so he drives over here. He rented a Camaro. And so it hauls ass. And it was really nice because we got to ride in it, which was fun. But he drove it here. And then he went back to Vegas after we were done. But we hung out for a while, and we went out to eat at our favorite Mexican restaurant in the valley. which is Carlos O'Brien's Mexican restaurant. It's an Irish Mexican restaurant. And it was a good time. It was the first time I ever met him, and he seemed like a cool guy. Gave him a pint of some of the stuff that I had picked up in East Texas because he said he liked it. And I was like, well, shit, I got a whole bunch of that. I had gotten a half gallon. I've sipped maybe 3 shots or 4 shots worth of that. And the rest of it I haven't been able to do much with. Yeah, it was great seeing him. I've never seen him before, so I mean, I can't say again, but Real Girl can. She hadn't seen him since he was like real young, maybe like 10 years old. So it'd been a while. How long, I'm not exactly sure, but it was really good. So that's why we weren't here yesterday. We are here today. Today is Friday. I hope everybody is looking forward to the weekend. And I am happy to report that it looks like Ashli Babbitt's family is going to try to make somebody be held to account because they're not going to get justice any other way. It's unfortunate. But, I mean, I guess there could be other ways of getting justice. It's pretty sad when in a free, just society that the American people might have to take it into their own hands to actually get real justice. Because you think about it. Depending on who you are, depending on what color of skin you have, depending on what beliefs you hold, will depend on if you will even have a chance to receive justice. George Floyd's family got justice, right? Chauvin, guilty on all counts. They get justice. Is it justice? I don't know. But they got what they wanted. What about Ryan Whitaker? What about him? What about Kyle Rittenhouse? Will he ever get justice? One way or the other? Ashli Babbitt, her family. Anyway, let's get on to it. Ashli Babbitt's family to sue Capitol Police for $10 million. The family of Ashli Babbitt, the Air Force veteran who was killed during the January 6th Capitol peaceful protest, is planning on suing the Capitol Police and the officer who fatally shot her for at least $10 million. I hope you go for more. And I hope you win it. Babbitt's family members made the announcement after the Justice Department said there would be no criminal charges filed against the still unnamed officer who killed the 35-year-old woman. And since that officer is unnamed, most likely they are not suspended. I would imagine they're still working. Like nothing ever happened. Oh, that had to suck. I don't know. I could be wrong. Terrell Roberts, the family's lawyer, said he will serve a notice to the Capitol Police within the next 10 days declaring his intent to file a lawsuit in Washington, D.C.'s federal court. The family will ask for at least $10 million as a recompense for financial losses, which includes the value of Babbitt's services to her husband and combined with Ashli's potential income if she had lived. I think you should sue a lot more than that. How much is a life worth? A potential for recovery for non-pecuniary losses is also a factor in the amount he told. Okay, well, $10 million seems a lot low, or really low, in my opinion. Babbitt, who was one of hundreds of unarmed, I want to repeat that. Babbitt was one of hundreds of unarmed Trump supporters who walked into the U.S. Capitol on the 6th, interrupting Congress's efforts to certify the 2020 election for President Biden. She was in a hallway outside the speaker's lobby attempting to crawl through a broken window when an officer inside the chamber hit her in the shoulder. She was later transported to Washington Hospital Center, where she died. Federal officials were investigating the incident, but officially dropped it 2 weeks ago, announcing that they did not believe criminal charges were appropriate for the officer. If she had been anything other than what she was, if she had been any kind of minority, it would have been a lot different. Prosecutors said they reviewed video of the shooting along with statements from other officers involved and witnesses and reviewed the autopsy results. Based on that investigation, officials determined that there is insignificant evidence to support a criminal prosecution, the DOJ said in a statement. Well, there is a certain narrative that we have to uphold, right? And that's why there's not going to be anything against this officer. We have to have the narrative that these were horrible people and they got everything that they deserved. Because if not, then it's on the good guys, because the good guys are the ones that had the guns that day. They were protecting our democracy. Criminal charges were not expected in this case because of the shooting showing Babbitt encroaching into a prohibited space and second-guessing the actions of an officer during the peaceful protest of a chaotic day that would have been a challenge, the department explained. The department explained that peaceful protesters with nothing on them was a threat to our democracy and decided to take action against them, deadly action, to a woman who has served this country, who had no reason to be shot. Let me go over this again. Encroaching into a prohibited space. That is our house. We paid for it. We the people. Biden the other night with his little speech was talking about we the people, meaning us in government. Fuck that shit. We the people has nothing to do with your asses in government. It's us, the ones that put you into government to serve us. You are our servants. If anybody's better than anybody else, we're better than you. That's our fucking house. I will go in there if I want to. And everybody should go. I would have loved to seen everybody there armed. It would have been a whole different story. Specifically, the investigation revealed no evidence to establish that at the time the officer fired a single shot at Miss Babbitt, the officer did not reasonably believe that it was necessary to do so in self-defense. He wasn't close. He wasn't close to her. There was nobody close to her. The senators and whoever was in there was already taken out. They already left. There was absolutely nobody there that was in danger. That officer was way far away. Nobody there in the crowd had a weapon at all. Not of any substance, right? Maybe some bear spray. Maybe a pocket knife. The officer did not reasonably believe that it was necessary to do so in self-defense or in defense of the members of Congress and others evacuating the House chamber, prosecutors said. Well, there's a narrative. All right. Gerald B. finished his dinner. Armed Archangel's in here. What's up, Armed Archangel? Sorry about the rant. Just chilling in the background. Nice. Roast beef sub. Ooh, that's my favorite. Anytime we would go to Subway, and Riddle can attest to this, anytime we go to Subway, I would always order the roast beef. The only time I think I didn't always get the roast beef sub from Subway is when I worked there. And that was when I was a kid, well, young adult. When I was a young adult, I would actually venture off and get other sandwiches because I worked there. I ate there all the time. But even to this day, if I were to go to a Subway, I'd be getting a roast beef because I like the roast beef the most. However, with the beef shortage, I think they stopped doing that. I don't know if they're back onto it or not. There was some other stores that stopped doing roast beef, and I was like, well, that's bullshit. What's up, Quantum Lotus? How are you doing this evening? Just as history is written by the victor, it is always written that the good guy is the winner. Yeah. And the bad guy is the loser. When, in recent history, within the last 200 years, did the bad guy win a war? Has there ever been a bad guy that won? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe about. I mean, I guess if you're people over in Iraq, the bad guy won. But I'm talking about here in America. Do we know of a war as Americans? Is there ever been a war in the last 200 years that the bad guy won? As I tell you right now, there has been. It just the good guy won. Just as history is written. Oh, I read that. Makes you really wonder about what we've been taught. Taught. That's one way of putting it. Good. How are you, PS? I'm really good, Quantum Lotus. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of my Discord. Quantum Lotus is liking Discord, and I like that. Got the memes going. Some other pictures. It's really great. Not to mention, but the Capitol officer was a black male. What? Really? Well, he's unidentified, supposedly. Is that the case? That would make that a little bit more interesting, wouldn't it? News Tonight said we have a chicken shortage going on now. Okay, cool. Well, chickens are domesticated pets. You can technically, in their support animal, so you can have chickens in an apartment. So, Broken Patriot, I fully expect you to have chickens in your apartment, laying eggs for you. I don't know. I'm sure there's some things with that, but as long as you say it's your mental support animal, I think you're good to go. It's amazing how easy it is to make a meme nowadays. It is. It's because it's so hypocritical. There's so much dumbass shit going around. A video that we're going to be looking into is this. I think I want to save this for last, just because he does talk about the sniffles in here, and he does not say that, anything but the actual word for it. Although I don't see a thing on here that says that, the CDC says. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to play it without getting in any trouble. But he makes examples of some people doing things in order to stay safe from the sniffles, including sanitizing a coffee cup before they grab it from a drive-thru, which it just shows you how stupid people are, how easily manipulated they are from fear. Do not let fear rule you. I've been working on that, and I think I'm doing better. Am I there? Probably not. But I will not be afraid of getting the sniffles. Even though I am technically, according to my doctor, I am at high risk. If I get it, supposedly, according to her, not me, according to her, I am high risk to die if I get the sniffles. As far as I know, I haven't had the sniffles. Or maybe I'm asymptomatic. I have no idea. But I am not going to allow myself to live in fear over something like that. When I could go out, wear my mask, sanitize everything, wear some gloves, go out and get hit in a car accident and die. Screw that. Right? Screw that. Well, I've seen a deer on TV. Says, does it pretty? Then I said, yeah, and they taste the same as a buck. Nice. Oh, yeah, we can go on and on. True fear is the weapon of control. It is. It is. How and it really showed during the whole sniffle pandemic. I knew it was there before, right? I knew it was there before. How do you control people through fear? But it really shows during the sniffles, because nobody believed that the mask would do a darn thing. Nobody, even Dr. Fauci and the CDC said it wouldn't do anything at the time, right? At the time, YouTube, at the time. They were against it before they were for it. All right, now they say that the mask will work. Double mask, maybe triple mask, right? Cut down on those droplets. But the whole idea is to get you scared. Get you scared and get you dependent on the government. Please give me that shot. I need that shot. That shot is going to save my life. Give it to me now. Meanwhile, Bill Gates, the guy who designed computer stuff, is making vaccines. And making a lot of money. Yeah, that shot might be free to you, but he got paid. He got paid good. You are just a cash cow. The people who die because they got it or they got a clot. We need what was it? Bill Gates who said that they wanted to cull the world population a little bit anyway. 10%. We got it. We got to in order to save the planet. All right. We got to get rid of some of the people on here because the planet's going to hell. Maybe. There's only two reasons people do things: personal gain or fear of great loss. There you go. I've had fear of great loss in other areas of my life, and it's something I struggle with, and I try to recognize. When I do something out of fear, I don't understand why I did it, and I go back and I think about it, 9 times out of 10, yeah, I was afraid of something. Depends on what it was at the time. All right, just an idea. Terror group Antifa posts real death threat to Portland mayor. Okay. Breaking, the FBI got involved after an Antifa group in Portland released a disturbing video that ended with a threat to kill Ted Wheeler. His address was shown in this exclusive report. I uncovered that the far-left journalist who was involved. So there were journalists involved in that? Federal authorities and Portland law enforcement were rushing to investigate a 2-minute Twitter video post by Antifa that threatened the life of far-left mayor Ted Wheeler. You gotta love it when they're going after their own. Blood is already on your hands, Ted, a masked narrator says in the video, according to the Oregonian. You know what? I'm gonna give it, way to go, Antifa. I mean, at least you got balls. At least you got balls. At least you're doing shit. The next time, it may just be your own. Democrats and their deep state allies in the intelligence community have repeatedly gaslighted the public by downplaying the threat, if not outright denying the existence of the domestic terrorist group. During debates last year, then candidate Joe Biden refused to condemn them and insisted that they were an idea rather than an organization. But with leftists now fully in power and no Donald Trump to scapegoat for the violence and the destruction in radical cities like Portland and Seattle, which have given safe harbor to the anarchist subversities, the tune is quickly beginning to change. As Portland rates for murder and violent crime have skyrocketed, Wheeler, who was himself violently assaulted in January, now laments his support for defunding police and efforts to seek solidarity with anti-government rioters. He recently called on citizens to take the city back and begin doxing the law-breaking leftists. You're going to dox your own... Okay. They want to burn. They want to bash. They want to intimidate. They want to assault, Wheeler said last week while declaring a state of emergency. Oh, now that Trump's not. Now it's a state of emergency. Our job is to unmask them, arrest them, and prosecute them. You know... kind of want to join Antifa. I ain't even gonna lie. I kind of want to join Antifa. I want to get shit done. The announcement led some of the more snowflake Antifa members to complain that they were being treated unfairly. Oh, they're being treated unfairly. They're being treated like, the people who went to Washington to see their president before one last time while he was still president. And now there's billboards saying, hey, if you know somebody that went there, please rat them out. We're going to give them an FBI visit. How many people went there, didn't even go up to the Capitol steps, right? They didn't go. They went to see the speech, and then they turned around, they went home. On their way out of the city, they heard this whole thing was going down. They're like, shit, glad I dodged that bullet. I'm glad I'm out of there now. Not only to just then go home and then get a visit from the FBI. Like, hey, you were there. We know you were there. We have this, and this, and we have proof that you were there. What were you doing? Are you a tourist? It's about time other people with other ideas get the same, in my opinion. I mean, if we're going to have justice for anyone, it should be justice for all. Unfortunately, some people, they don't get justice. They don't. Because this is not a just nation. However, the more hardened ones quickly proceeded to double down with their death threat, which first appeared on social media Wednesday night. The anonymous speaker, whose voice was altered, I love altering my voice. I can do it all the time. Now I got the voice changer. It's fun. Anyway. We are not just challenging the idea of having Ted as a mayor. We are challenging the idea of having mayors at all. So, anarchists think that they can rule themselves and they don't need people in power to rule over them. And I like that. I would love to, and I don't think it works large scale. It might be able to work on a small scale, but large scale, I don't think that's going to work. That's just my opinion. There's some really smart people out there that, well, smarter than me anyway, that think that it's a great idea nationwide. I disagree with that. But it's an interesting idea. It would be great if it could work. We want abolition. They want to abolish it. Abolition is absolute. If peaceful marches, speeches, and voting were enough to bring about the goal, then we would have already been there. Amen to that too. Think of this. Think of these words from Antifa that I'm reading right now as if they were spoken from patriots. Because you'll see that the idea, it's there. If these people believed in freedom for everyone, you would applaud these words. These words are amazing. We are not challenging the idea of having Ted as a mayor. We are challenging the idea of having mayors at all. We want absolution, it continued. Absolution is absolute. If peaceful marches, speeches, and voting were enough to bring about the goal, then we would have already been there. After having pointed earlier that Wheeler valued windows more than lives, the person hiding behind the post asserted windows smashing and riots are necessary escalation when those in power have proven that they are unwilling to listen. And the people back in the 1700s that started rising up, they started rising up. Our founding fathers did not, become like, hey, maybe we should, be our own country. They didn't start that shit. They eventually got around to that. But there was a long time where common citizens were tired and fed up with it and were going out and doing bad things to the British. Horrible things. The Boston Tea Party was not a peaceful event. For good measure, the nihilist speaker threw in some climate change alarmism, suggesting that the New World anti-government order would somehow find a way to continue regulating carbon emissions. Spokespeople for Wheeler, Portland Police, and the FBI all confirmed that the matter was under investigation and that law enforcement agencies were working together, but the left-wing activists seem to be siding more with Antifa than with Wheeler over the direction that the city should take. The ACLU of Oregon denounced Wheeler's appeal to hold the tourist rioters accountable, claiming it would promote vigilantism from the right, of course. What? His comments are inappropriate, irresponsible, and dangerous, said an ACLU statement. After more than 4 years as police commissioner, Ted Wheeler must fully recognize the role that unchecked police violence has escalated tension in Portland. Some on the left were even attempting to link Wheeler with former President Trump, who called him a fool last year for his soft stance on the riots, resulting in a public war of words. Propagandist posts from radical leftist blogs now refer to Wheeler as a Trumper. So Wheeler now supports Trump. Gotcha. Well, he supports them, but Antifa has always been out for their own ideology. But at least they're out there doing something, man. I don't know. Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong on this. If they held more of, conservative values, we'd all be applauding them. Well, true enlightenment is to be free, but with 7 billion entities and whatever or else on earth, it is hard. Yeah, true anarchy and self-governance. I'm going to call it self-governance because everybody thinks anarchy is rule without law. True self-governance, I don't think can be done on a mass level. Even if you had like cities that did it, you would have some cities that didn't get along with other cities, and you'd have basically warlords. I don't know what you'd have, but that's what I'd worry about. What's up, Lutz or Luds? Yeah, Lutz. How you doing? I'm gonna call you Lutz. If that's not how you pronounce that, please let me know, because I'm not really good at pronouncing names sometimes. I lost respect for Antifa until I found that they are for hire. Hey, there you go. I didn't know that. Oversight Republicans suspect Biden's administration falsified census reappropriation data. Okay. Republicans on the House Oversight Committee accused the Biden administration of political interference with the U.S. Census to change the outcome of the population count in ways more favorable to Democrats. Given the extra time it took to complete the 2020 census, including not meeting the statutory deadlines by months, we have questions about the methodology and the role of the Biden White House may have played in releasing these numbers. They wrote in a letter on Friday to Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo, especially as the results differ from the evaluation estimates released mere months ago in ways that benefit blue states over red states. The letter was signed by Representative James Corner of Kentucky, the ranking GOP member of the Oversight Committee, and 16 others, including high-profile reps Jody Hice of Georgia, Jim Jordan of Ohio, Andy Biggs, and Paul Gosar, both from Arizona. Raimondo is a former governor of Rhode Island, one of the states originally projected to lose a seat until Biden administration revision softened the blow considerably. Interesting. According to a watchdog group, the Committee to Unleash Prosperity, the original projections for the census reappropriation had New York losing 2 seats, Rhode Island losing a seat, and Illinois perhaps losing 2 seats. Instead, New York and Illinois only lost 1, and Rhode Island lost none. Meanwhile, Texas was expected to gain 3 state seats, Florida 2 seats, and Arizona 1 seat. Instead, Texas gained only 2, Florida 1, and Arizona none. This trend calls into question whether there is any political interference with the apportionment results released by the Census Bureau, the congressman wrote. They said after reaching out to the Census Bureau, the GOP staffers were bizarrely referred to the White House. Yet the statute is clear. It is the Secretary of Commerce who reports the apportionment count to the president, not the other way around, they noted in the letter. Referring our staff questions to the White House about the results produced by the Census Bureau is entirely inappropriate and raises questions about the level of the White House involvement in the process, they added. The newfound sprint of cooperation between the Census Bureau and the White House marks a dramatic about-face from last December, when after having slow-walked the completion of the census and delayed statutorily mandated deadlines, census officials declared that they would not comply with the directives issued by then President Trump. Disingenuous Democrats have previously accused the Census Bureau of colluding with the Trump administration. The White House involvement is surprising since Democrats, including Oversight Chairwoman Carolyn Maloney, previously accused the Trump's White House of scheming about how to DARF the process for political gain. However, during the transcribed interviews with senior census officials in August of 2020, none of the officials indicated that they had any contact with the Trump White House, and one official explicitly denied having any conversations with the White House, they said. Despite the obvious imbalance in political gamesmanship involving the deep state bureaucracy, bureaucratic interference in the census, some Democrats were continuing to fuss about what they claimed as an unfair outcome. New York Andrew Cuomo, who was directly responsible for some of the deaths in 15,000 of them actually in nursing home residents in his state, complained that the seat New York had lost came to down only a few dozen residents. Well, maybe if you hadn't killed them, maybe the 15,000 that you killed, you shouldn't have done that. He accused the Trump administration from promoting xenophobia and deterring illegal immigrants in his sanctuary state from participating due to concerns that the federal immigration law might enforce if they did. So you fill out that census, you're going to get out of the country. That's the idea. Even as President Trump sought to ensure the accuracy of the 2020 census appropriation results by excluding illegal aliens from the appropriate count, President Biden reversed course, declining to dilute American citizens' representative interest by rescinding this common sense measure, said the GOP letter. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and count all the people that can't vote. Why not? Sounds like a good idea. Broken Patriot, you getting chickens for your apartment? You know you can do that, right? All you have to do is say that they're, service animals for your anxiety. That way you can have chickens in your apartment and have free breakfast. Well, not free, but you know what I mean. Maybe that's why the Georgia Guidestone said to keep the population to 500,000. Yeah, Susan Rosenberg is the leader who denies it, but we all know Queen of Honeypots. I have no idea, Susan Rosenberg. That's cool. I mean, I might join up. I ain't gonna lie. It's tempting. They're doing shit. Do we have somebody like that on our side doing shit? No, because they get shut down immediately. These people are allowed to do it, and they're getting bolder because of it. And since they're getting bolder because of it, they're more likely to win out than we would ever. Well, I don't know. That's my opinion. I'm sick as hell, stomach bug. Oh man, that does suck. Been throwing up since 3 a.m. Shit, bro. Sorry to hear that. Unicorns, Rhino Representative Adam Kinzinger is recruiting Never Trump candidates. I don't want to go to Congress if I have to lick Donald Trump's boot to get there. Good. I don't like Donald Trump either, but at the same time, man, I don't like establishment Republicans. They're just as bad as establishment Democrats. Need to take them all out. And I would agree. I would think that Antifa group in Portland probably would agree with that statement. If I talk to them like, dude, Democrats are horrible, so are the Republicans. So how about we just get them all out? They'd be like, hell yeah, man, let's do it. Probably. Sweet, I got some 80%ers. Let's build. Adam Kinzinger came to Texas this week to hunt unicorns. The Illinois congressman was looking for Republicans who, like him, see former President Trump as a scourge on their party and a threat to democracy. Kinzinger met privately with one sympathetic Republican, former President George W. Bush, on his first day in the state. And on his second, he had lunch with Michael Wood, the only openly anti-Trump Republican competing on Saturday in a crowded special election for a seat in Congress. Kinzinger, a 43-year-old Air Force pilot who flew missions in Iraq and Afghanistan, is positioning himself as a leading antagonist to Trump in a party that largely refuses to move on from the former president. I don't want to vote for establishment Republicans. That's the thing. If you've been in office for more than 4 years, more than 8 years, I don't want you in there anymore. I am going, and you know what? Screw mandates for term limits. They're never going to do it. So I'm going to encourage not only Republicans, but also Democrats. If you have a senator or a congressman or whoever who's been in office for 8 years, vote them out. Vote somebody else in. I don't care who you vote for. Vote for somebody else. We got to make these people not career politicians, in my opinion. The congressman's, you know what, screw that. I'm done reading that one. Hard to keep coffee down that way. Can't even keep water down. Going to bed as soon as the stream is over. Oh shit. All right, guys, we got to hurry this one through. Broken Patriot's not feeling well, and he's going to try to stay up for the whole stream, so let's get her done. Democrat Representative Ron Kine made big profits as landlord for Asian sex parlor. Hey, there you go. From Wisconsin, has spent nearly a quarter of a century representing Wisconsin's 3rd district. Quarter of 25 years. 25 years. Get this guy out of the office. Let's see. A swath of mostly pro-Trump MAGA territory bookended by Minneapolis to the northwest and the Madison and Milwaukee to the southeast. Despite facing formidable GOP challenges in the battleground district, he has retained his seat by framing himself as a wholesome Heartland centrist. Oh, okay, great. But after a recent scandal involving an Asian massage parlor that had reaped tens of thousands of dollars in profit for Kind, there may be no happy ending in sight for his political career. I like the puns. Rub Maps Ron has a lot of explaining to do, especially if he profited from the criminal activity, said Mike Berg, spokesman for the National Republican Congressional Committee, according to Breitbart. Hailing from the heart of dairy country, Kind has a passion for rural and agricultural, can't say that word, conversation and green-related issues, according to his official site. He prides himself on being a member of a forward-thinking new Democratic caucus, a solutions-oriented coalition seeking to bridge the gap between left and right by challenging outmodeled partisan approaches to governing, despite also continuing Representative Adam Schiff as a member. However, in a recent Fox News report, first broke the story that Kind may have a seedier side as a slumlord for sex workers. However, a recent Fox News report first broke the story that Kind may have been a seedier side of a slum. I already read that. Sorry about that. The Democrat congressman, a member of the House Ways and Means Committee, has a side hustle renting a space to Asian Sunny Massage in downtown La Crosse, Wisconsin. Among other red flags about its true nature, the parlor is featured on the website Rub Maps, a Czechoslovakian platform described as a Yelp for sex spas. Oh, well, there you go. If you didn't know, now you do. Rub Maps. Google it. Get the app. Get it on your phone. That way you know where all the places you can go to get that extra service. The allegation is incredibly disturbing and opens the door to many more questions that need to be answered, said Derek Van Orden, a Navy SEAL veteran who ran against Kind last year and plans another run in 2022. I fully support law enforcement and encourage them to investigate this business to uncover any potential illegal activity, Van Orden told Breitbart. It is all of our duties as Americans to help stop these horrendous crimes from taking place in our state. We got to protect the public from the old rub and tug, because God forbid we employ people with the oldest profession. What is up, Predon? How are you doing today? Shut up. Ha ha ha. I think Trump, for some, was that ear that finally listened to all the BS. I don't know. Trump was out for Trump. The only thing good about Trump was that nobody could figure out what the hell he was doing. And that scared the shit out of them. But, I mean, he did a lot of bad things, too. Where's Caitlin? Yeah, where's Caitlin? Just dropped us by to say hi? Cool. Well, thank you very much, Pre-Dawn. Been enjoying your videos. I've been catching as many as I can. And I do like watching them. If you don't know who Pre-Dawn Death is, I would definitely go subscribe to him. He's getting up there on subs. One of these days, we're going to be like, oh, I remember Pre-Dawn back in the day. Oh, he's a cool dude. I have said for years we need to vote everyone out every election. I wouldn't say every election. Maybe every other. How about every other? Could we I think I'm going to do that from now on. I'm just going to, every other election, I already voted for you. Sorry, I'm going to vote for the Democrat. Don't be afraid to vote for the other side, because when you vote for an establishment Republican, you basically are voting for the other side. Look at them all now, bloviating and doing all this virtue signaling and stuff like, oh, we're trying to pass the Hearing Protection Act so that we can get silencers for all of you patriots out there, you gun owners. You know, we're going to give you your rights back. You know, the shall not be infringed. Motherfuckers. Motherfuckers. Where the hell were you when Trump was in office and you had both House and Senate? What about the Hearing Protection Act back then that was supposed to go through? No. See, when they're in power, they're too worried about what the Democrats and what the liberals think of them, and not enough about what their actual voters voted them in the first place. You don't want to know why? Because they don't want suppressors to be legal. They like you not being able to have them. Why? Because they are we the people. You are ordinary citizen. Biden even said it himself. We the people, us in government, we the people, hold these truths. Not you, not me. I'm ordinary. I'm an ordinary citizen. I don't count when it comes to the Constitution. I don't count as a we the people. That's for people in government, apparently. Great singer. I just vote for whom my husband tells me to vote for, according to them. Actually, I get my voting advice from Riddle Girl. Here's massage with a happy name. I'm telling you, why not? What's so bad about that? What's so bad about that? There ain't nothing bad about that. Out of all the things in this world that are evil, paying for sex, that ain't nothing. That's some Christian beliefs. That's the same people who think that that's evil and should be illegal are the same people who think that if you're not married to somebody, then you're living in sin and you're going to hell. Because apparently, back in the day when Jesus was around, you had to go in front of the state or the government or whatever and get married that way. So Adam and Eve, I don't know. Did you get the paper? Did you get the ring, Adam? Did you go to a church and have a preacher marry you? No, you just slept with her? Well, shit, you're living in sin. No wonder we got kicked out of the Garden of Eden. It wasn't because Eve ate the fruit. It was because Adam had premarital sex. That's why we're all living in sin now. Imagine if everyone did that. Yeah, I know, right? What's up, Caitlin? How you doing? Been researching it. Would love to chat with you about how that works. I am no longer a U.S. citizen. I'm a citizen of Ohio. Well, you're still a citizen. That's not... I try not to refer to myself as a citizen. Am I renouncing it? No. No, I'm not. But at the same time, I'm a person. I'm an individual. I'm a people. I'm not a citizen. I am not to be governed. I am ungovernable. I will do my own damn thing despite your rules. If you catch me and you arrest me, sure, I will be put into a cage just like everybody else. But I will not put myself in that cage and not allow myself to live free. I will live free dangerously with the whole expectation that at some point I might get caught and have to pay that price. But until I get caught and put into a cage, I will not cage myself. Debunking the bad economics and Biden's address to Congress. Millions of Americans tuned in for President Joe Biden's congressional address last night. Here's the thing. I think I saw a meme. Was it you, Quantum, that said that the most beloved president of our time, the one who's gotten the most votes ever in our time, couldn't get more than 1,000 likes on his YouTube speech on YouTube, something like that. When President spoke about our nation's experiences with the sniffles crisis, he offered optimism for the future. There was a lot about his speech that we can all appreciate, but when Biden turned the policy specifics, particularly economics, he quickly stumbled into a misleading territory and at times flat out wrong assertions. One, crediting big government policies with economic recovery that was always going to happen. Biden boasted that supposedly, thanks to his massive sniffle spending bill, the economy created more than 1.3 million new jobs in 100 days. More new jobs in the first 100 days than any president on record. Two, he cited projections that our economy will grow at a rate of more than 6% this year, the fastest pace of economic growth in this country in nearly 4 decades. In both cases, Biden is citing accurate statistics, but making a misleading attribution. The economy was always going to rebound as lockdowns and restrictions were eased. As far as his massive sniffle bill, much of which is actually waste and unrelated to partisan spending, an Ivy League analysis found it was actually decrease economic growth and wages in the long run. Touting the merits of Buy America government policy. Yeah, did you guys catch that where he's like, Buy America? Didn't that sound a little bit like Trump? Biden channeled his inner President Trump at one point in his speech, promising that American tax dollars are going to use to buy American products made in America. That created American jobs the way it should be. Yeah, America first right there. The narrative runs against one of the most basic principles of economics, gains from specialization and trade. Specifically, buying old goods and services made in America means that our tax money is being spent based on politics, not on whoever offers the lowest price and the best products. That's a raw deal for taxpayers. Moreover, we all win when the American economy focuses on the goods and services where we are the most efficient and turns to producers in other countries for goods and services where they have a competitive advantage. Yeah. I'm already over that one. Oh, snaps on D-Live. I no longer want to take part in this union. Well, then you wouldn't consider yourself a citizen of it. Well, I mean, I guess if you're Ohio, if you're counting Ohio as your country, back in the day with the way the states were, you didn't say you were an American, right? When America first, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but when America first was around after we won and we became a country, even then it would be like, yeah, I'm a Texan, part of the United States. Oh, I'm an Ohioan. Yeah, it's part of the United States. But yeah, it was your state. It wasn't your country. The country was just, it was supposed to be, we're all our own little country, right? In fact, I believe every state had their own money. And when you went to another state, you had to, change your money over from one state to another state. And that was a pain in the ass. So they decided to have a federalized money that went across all the states. And, there you go. It needs more cowbell. Always needs more cowbell. Always. If we had more cowbell, there'd probably be more peace in the world. Everybody likes a good cowbell. Correct. Cool. I was right. Big oof. Merca. What's up, Luca Hit? How you doing? Yeah. All right. Eyeing 2024. Oh, my goodness. You think Pence is going to run in 2024? That'd be something. Went from United States R to United States is. Went from United States R to United States is. Yeah. Okay. Jokes? You got jokes? I like jokes. It's all a publicity BS. He's trying to make himself look good after all these jobs he lost. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Keep up the good work. Oh, thank you. I'm just here hanging out. Hanging out with you all. I'm not doing anything other than, finding out what's going on in the day's events. And if you guys have stories, let me know. Because if I miss something, this is where I get my news. I stopped watching news programs. I've stopped watching most YouTube channels. I do watch a few here and there. But for the most part, I spend most of my day doing other shit. So this is my one little hour of the day where I plug in and find out, okay, well, we're still technically the United States still. So, all right, cool. And then move on. Really appreciate your streams. Hey, man. By all means, glad to have you here. Headline, let's see. In his first public address since the end of the Trump administration, former Vice President Mike Pence on Thursday put down a marker for a potential run to elected office, telling the audience in early voting South Carolina that he will use the coming months pushing back on the liberal agenda he says is wrong for the country. We've got to guard our values by offering a positive agenda to the American people, grounded in our highest ideals, Pence told an audience of several hundreds of Columbus dinner sponsored by a conservative Christian nonprofit. Now, over the coming months, I will have more to say about that. The choice of South Carolina for Pence post-administration debut. That's the word I'm looking for, has defined political overtones, helping him develop exposure for potential 2024 presidential bid. The state holds the first presidential primaries in the South, and candidates of both major parties typically spend more than a year in the state ahead of these votes, introducing themselves and trying to secure support. Republican candidates use South Carolina as a proving ground to test their social conservative issues mettle. Thursday's event, hosted by Palmetto Family Council, I wonder if they have anything to do with Palmetto State Armory, also gave Pence a backdrop for some of the issues for which he'd long advocated as Indiana congressman turned governor, such as a pro-life advocacy and support for the overturn of Roe v. Wade. Palmetto family most recently helped push through a ban on most South Carolina's abortions, a law now being challenged in federal court. We will stand with the right of every American of every faith to live, to work, to speak, and to worship according to the dictates of their conscience, Pence said. Pence, who since leaving office has been doing work with the Heritage Foundation, a Young Americans Foundation, has not indicated if he plans on a future run. Well, it sounds like he is. As vice president, he made numerous trips to South Carolina, meeting several times with governor for the sniffle-related forums and campaigning in the state for Lindsey Graham and Nancy Mace. But questions is whether Pence's former boss still looms large for the possible Republican field. Former President Trump has not explicitly stated his plans, but has teased a possible bid. On Thursday morning, I'm not a fan of Trump. I'm not. But I can't deny that I would love to see it. I would love to see it. On Thursday morning, asked on Fox Business about running in 2024, Trump said he's 100% thinking about it, and he would even possibly consider Florida Governor Ron DeSantis as his running mate. It'd probably be a lot better than Pence. Earlier this month, another possible GOP contender, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, said when asked about 2024 by the Associated Press, that she would stand down if Trump opted to run again. Right, nice. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, whatever. You know the guy. You know the thing, has launched an aggressive schedule visiting states that will play a pivotal role in 2024 primaries and signing a contract with Fox News Channel. DeSantis has been courting donors, including at Trump's backyard, with a prominent speaking slot before the former president at the GOP fundraising retreat dinner this month at Mar-a-Lago, the Florida resort where Trump now lives. Earlier Thursday, South Carolina Democratic Chair Trav Robertson said Pence was coming to the state to try to salvage his relationship with Trump supporters, irked that Pence didn't support efforts to block certification of the 2020 presidential election. Well, I'll tell you what. If you like Trump, if you actually liked him and you're really hoping that he runs again in 2024, please don't forget that Pence did not stand up for Trump. I mean, I'm not surprised that he didn't. He is an establishment Republican. He was one of the reasons why I was kind of questioning voting for Trump in the first place, because his record on like vaping rights, he's big tobacco backed. He likes big tobacco, and big tobacco does not like vaping products because they can't compete and they're losing a shit ton of money. They lost me. I was a lifetime customer for 20 years and I quit. I no longer vape and I no longer smoke. But vaping got me off of cigarettes, not the quit smoking aids. And you know who makes money on those quick smoking aids? You have not only the big tobacco that gets money from that, but also big pharma. And that is a whole cycle. What they want you to do is get hooked on smoking, try to quit using the gum, the patch, the Chantix, whatever. I even had Chantix. I've tried them all. You quit for a while, you fail, you come back to smoking, you try to quit again. It's a vicious circle, and you just pay and pay and pay. But vaping will get you off. That's what she said. On Thursday, Pence promised to reveal more of his ideas soon, promising that he would be challenging the Biden administration's avalanche of liberal policies as he ramps up speaking engagements around the country. We will have a winning agenda, Pence told Thursday's crowd, and now it's incumbent upon us to take that winning agenda to the American people. Yeah, screw you, Pence. You're a fucking puppet. Let's see, STDs are up because needle exchanges are low on needles because of supply chain. Let's see. It's a fact that I am bad economics. Hookers get better looking. It's a fact that I'm bad economies. Hookers get better looking? Maybe. I'm? Oh, okay. It's a fact that in bad economies, hookers get... Okay. I was going to say... I think Guns Coast to Coast is inebriated. I thought you were calling yourself an ugly hooker. Quality goes up and cost comes down. There you go. If the government would quit handing out money, hookers would currently be gorgeous. Well, you know what? Hookers count too. I'm sure they all got their stimulus check. There's got to be a joke there. What do you call a hooker that got a stimulus check? Or what happened when the hooker got a stimmy? I don't know. There's a joke there somewhere. How's everyone doing? I'm doing well, Caitlin. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to quit, but I'm going to use a pot to stop cigs. Every time I want to smoke, I want to spark up a joint. Yeah, you could do that. There was plenty of people back in the day when I was talking about quitting smoking. They're like, "Well, man, you should just quit by smoking weed." Well, dude, first of all, it wasn't legal at the time. That doesn't stop me from doing it. Okay, that's not the reason. You're Stinger. He's a law-abiding citizen. No. It just makes it easier, right? Because I don't know people. I didn't have those contacts, right? How do you get that contact? Do you go up to a guy like, "Hey, bro, you got any weed for sale, bro? You know anybody?" I don't know anybody. So I could never find it. We had one hookup, like one time from somebody that little girl worked with, and that was it. And once that dried up, we were done until it was legal. Now I'm still looking for one. I think we have a neighbor that might know somebody, because what we buy now, the legal stuff, is expensive as all hell. Yes, it's like any vice. If you let it take it over you, you're going to easy target. No, but it doesn't surprise me. Yeah. All right, let's get this wrapped up. Giuliani, FBI accused his FBI accessed his iCloud account without his acknowledgement. Well, big surprise. Rudy Giuliani sought to discredit the federal investigation into his dealings in the Ukraine on Thursday, a day after agents raided his home and office. Giuliani said a 6 a.m. search, which he said involved seven FBI agents, was unnecessary because he had offered for 2 years to provide federal prosecutors with his electronic devices and to talk it over with them. Don't ever talk to the agents. And I can't believe Giuliani, a lawyer and somebody in politics, wouldn't know that. You can't talk your way out of anything. You don't say a damn word. You let them, if they have something on you, they will arrest you. If they don't, they won't. So if they don't arrest you, they don't have nothing on you, and I don't know. They won't explain to me what they're looking for and or looking into for 2 years, Giuliani said in an evening appearance on Tucker Carlson tonight. Giuliani's lawyer, Robert Costello, has previously said proposed meetings between investigators and Giuliani's legal team did not take place because prosecutors wouldn't agree to a precondition that they first disclose more about the probe. Yeah, what are you looking into? What is that even? It's kind of like they're just looking. It would be rare for prosecutors to give up detailed information about to a potential criminal defendant before charges are filed, or to rely on that person to voluntarily produce electronic files thought to contain incriminating evidence. The federal probe is examining Giuliani's interactions with Ukrainian figures and whether he violated a federal law that governs lobbying on behalf of foreign countries or entities, the Foreign Agents Restoration Act, which has rarely been prosecuted. But didn't Biden's, who was it in the Biden administration who did, wasn't that Kerry that did that? Giuliani, the Republican former mayor of New York City, has insisted that all of his activities in Ukraine were conducted on behalf of former President Trump. At the time, Giuliani led a campaign, yada, yada, yada. Okay. So they're looking into Giuliani. I ain't going to read the rest of that. We're already over time, and I'm sure that Broken Patriot ain't feeling too good. OnlyFans might be cheaper. LOL Saints. Hold up. I'm saving my money up until those good-looking ones get affordable. Got my eye on a couple of the poor ones. Just remember, regardless of the class of hooker you get, don't be silly. Wrap that willy. Does that count for rub and tug? I don't think so, right? That's fine, right? I don't know. Hell, it's easy to find out. Just use your nose to find it. You can tell a stoner because they smell like pot. Yeah, I guess. It's one of those things, man. Maybe you all are more comfortable with that. I am not that kind of person. I don't go up to people and just start out conversations. And I sure as hell don't go starting conversations like, hey, bro, you got any more weed? What are you, an FBI agent? Fuck you. Get out of my face. I ain't gonna... Right? I don't know. I never did that. I've never done that before. Don't forget, tomorrow is May Day. They love their sacrificial dates for false flags. Ooh. All right. I'll remember that, Guns. I'll remember that. Nearly everyone smells like pot. Now, yeah, because a lot of people are getting the legal shit, too. That's because they're all stoners. What's up, HDP? How are you doing? More pot smokers in this country than the government ever thought. Yeah. Really, I mean, is there any point to having the law if everybody ignores it anyway? And I got to applaud stoners, man. They've been living free for a good long time, most of them. A law? Fuck you and your law. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. I'm not hurting anybody, so fuck you. I don't give a shit. And the same thing with if I want to do fucking meth, crack cocaine, and fucking heroin all at the same damn time. If I can afford it, if I can pay for it with my own money, what the fucking business is it of yours what I do with my body? As a Christian, I don't think it's good for people to do that shit. But at the same time, as an American, as a freedom-loving person who says you do you, by all means, do your own thing, including transgenders. If you want to wear a dress and pretend that you're a girl, I'm all for it. Shit, I'll call you a girl if you want. I'll call you by whatever name you want. I don't give a shit. It's not up to me. Do I think you are a girl? No. Do I think you probably have some mental condition? Yeah, probably. But I'm not going to, belittle you. You're a person. Do you, if that's what you want to do. Tennessee may mandate warning signs about transgender bathroom uses, though. Tennessee lawmakers have passed a bill that requires businesses or government facilities to open to the public to post a sign if they let transgender people use multi-person bathrooms locker rooms, or changing rooms associated with their gender identity. The Human Rights Campaign, which opposes the proposed requirement, says it would be the first of its kind. I don't see a problem with this sign. This is not a bad sign. You have a lady, a man, and a man in a dress. All genders. That's not like, be forewarned, you're going to go in here, you might see a penis in a dress. The Human Rights Campaign, which opposes the proposed requirement, says it would be the first of its kind. The Republican-dominated legislature finished work on the bill in the Senate's passage Thursday, sending GOP Governor Bill Lee another bill that LGBTQ advocates have decried without evidence as targeting the so-called transgendered, this legislative section. I don't see it being a problem, in my opinion, but I could be proven wrong. I don't really talk about this to the people that I know that are transgendered, and I do talk to people who are trans. There's 2 people that I've been talking to recently that are transgendered, but this is like one of those things I'm not going to bring up because I just don't want to, right? It's just going to bring up bad feelings, so I just shut my mouth most of the time. Let's see. Texas has the most anti-LGBTQ bills filed in any state, but Tennessee is not far behind, said Catherine Oakley. I love the name because I'm a fan of Oakley's. Human Rights Campaign State Legislative Director and Senior Counsel. And I'm an old-time fan of Oakley's. Like, you should never be a brand fan. But that one, I became a fan of Oakley's back when I was a kid, and it's kind of one of those things that stuck. Kind of like being a fan of Motley Crue. I have tattoos of Motley Crue, right? I did that one myself with a needle and some printer ink back in the day. And then I got that one from the Dr. Feelgood album tattooed. And now, boy, listening to Motley Crue's political views, I think I need to go get some cover-up work done, you know what I mean? But at the same time, that was a big pivotal thing back in my day, back in my, when I was a kid and an overzealous Christian mother. The first thing I wanted to do was get a tattoo on my arm. So I'm over here, fuck you, mother. I'll do what the fuck I want. That shit stuck. Fucking 30-something odd years later, that shit's still fucking there. Rock and roll. Anyway, the American Civil Liberties Union of Tennessee said it is evaluating our legal options on the bathroom sign requirement, which is a signature away from becoming law and would kick in July 1st. The Republican House-sponsored Representative Tim Rudd last month said the bathroom signage bill is on the cutting edge of the subject, but also stresses that it didn't restrict bathroom access. It doesn't. And I don't know. I don't personally see any problem with it. So it allows all genders. So what? It's very shocking and a danger to people if they walk into a restroom that is marked men or women and the opposite sex is standing there. It could scare them. It could provoke violence, Reed said. It could. It definitely could. Can you imagine a little girl? And I'm sure this has happened. You have your daughter. You're a red blood meat eating American. Got to carry 45 on my hip all day long. Why? Because they don't make a 46, right? My daughter goes into the restroom and Daddy, there's a man in there. Oh, hold on. I'll go get my 45. I'll teach this man a lesson. Yeah, I could understand that would help with the... Oh, yeah, well, it says all genders. That's why. According to this bill, the required signage outside the bathroom or the other facility would say this facility maintains a policy of allowing the use of restrooms by either biological sex, regardless of the destination of the restroom. The sign would be required if a locker room, shower facility, dressing area, or other facility is open to the general public, designated for a specific sex, and is in an area where someone has a reasonable expectation of privacy. It wouldn't apply to a single occupancy unisex bathroom. On Thursday, Democratic State Majority Leader Jeff Yarbrough repeated that he what he said about another bathroom-related bill this year. People have been going to the restroom in this state for so long without our help. This is silly, Yarbo said. What good are we doing here? I don't think the sign's a problem. The governor has already signed a different proposal this year that bars male transgendered athletes from playing girls' public high school or middle school sports. Lawmakers have also approved another bill about bathrooms, which opens up schools and districts to lawsuits if they let transgendered students or employees use facilities marked for the sex opposite of what's on their birth certificate. Lee has painted that bill in a very positive light, claiming it provides you know what, I'm done reading this. In my opinion, the sports thing, I do not like transgendered in women's sports or in men's. I mean, it definitely, if there is a biological girl who is going into male sport dominated thing, good luck. But the other way around is unfair. I would much rather have girls sports, boys sports, unisports. Call it whatever you want, whatever is appropriate. But biological male sports, biological girl sports, whatever you are or want to be sports. Because the other way is unfair. Alright, I'm not even going to watch this. Go check out the Mark Dice video about the mask madness. It's even worse than you thought. That's the title of the video. It looks good. I haven't gotten through it all yet, but it looks pretty good. It's definitely crazy. Absolutely crazy how some people are so afraid. And basically, it's all about how, you know what, screw it, I will play. This is all about how scared you are. I'm not going to play all of it. Okay, this lady right here, she's got a shopping cart. There's a little kid in this shopping cart, right? This can is a can of Lysol spray. Watch her spray it around the cart as she pushes it. All right, and then, oh yeah, here's one in a pool. All right, let's see, anybody else? Oh yeah, the band. There you go. Fear. Powerful motivator. If you don't believe in God, you have to believe in something. Believe in the government, believe in the CDC, believe in science. You're believing in something. What are you believing in? All right, I think that's all those. I'm just gonna quick go through it. Yeah, he does talk about the like to dislike ratio right there. 584 upvotes, 7.2 thousand down. He's our president. He won more votes for president of the United States than Obama did in his first term. Trump got more votes in 2020 than he did in 2016, yet lost because Biden has gotten the most votes of any U.S. president ever to live. And yet There you go. 584 up, 7.2 thousand down. That is crazy. All right. Let's see. What's this? Oh, more mask in the car. Yeah, all the time. All the time. By themselves. I see it all the time here. With a HEPA filter in your car. All right. That's good. All right. Let's see. GB, you are in New Hampshire. Gerald B is in Maine, I believe. Last time she made brownies, they was so strong I sent 2 people to the hospital. LOL. Told them to get in an hour to work. They ate the whole pan of them. LOL. Yeah, we got some brownies recently that are a little bit better than normal stuff. The guy with the coffee, hoping he applies enough to teach him to stop doing that. Wait till smallpox comes back. People won't know what to do. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we actually get a real pandemic? People are going to be like, "Well, where's the quick vaccination? But my mask, why isn't it protecting me? It protected me against the sniffles. Why isn't it protecting me against this?" Yep, girl and boys trans. I'm telling you, it can be trans. You can name it whatever you want. I don't give a crap. Girl sports, boy sports, middle, whatever you want sports.
Middle Earth.
Middle Earth sports. Fucking unicorn sports. I don't care. But it needs to be fair. And you want to think you're a girl and or whatever you want to think you are. I don't care. As a person who wants to be left alone, I don't care what you want to be considered. I will call you whatever. The person that I talk to that's trans wants to be called Becky or Princess Baxter is one of them. I don't know when she wants to be called Princess Baxter or when she wants to be called Becky. I don't know if Baxter's her last name or her first. Don't know. Don't ask. Don't care. Don't care. But it needs to be fair. And unfortunately, you can't argue with science. You either got a girl part or you got a boy part. And because of what part you got is what hormones you received most likely. And yeah, you should be put into that group. Anyway, I got caught back in the day with a QP in New Hampshire. My evidence went missing because most of the cops are potheads. We'll be in New Hampshire in July for the NASCAR weekend. Oh, that's cool. All right, that's all I got for you guys tonight. Make sure to check out the descriptions down below if this is your first time. We got some links in there. One, to all the causes I believe in and support. We have the GOA, Gun Owners of America, looking to sue a whole bunch of states and getting some of our rights back. Some of them. Anyway, they're working on it. They're doing a lot more than the NRA is doing, so that's why I have them down there. If you want to go down that route and help protect our Second Amendment from the tyrannical government legally through the courts, go ahead and donate to the GOA. ProjectRecover.org is an organization that goes out, looks for lost service members, and returns their remains to their families. And Rally Point Irish, it's a GoFundMe for my good friend Irish USMC vet. He's starting up a location in Tennessee where vets can stay room and board free while learning a new skill like farming, blacksmithing, and gunsmithing. I believe in that one so much that if you decide to donate to this channel, which is not obligated, but if you want to, that's great. Half of what you donate to this channel, I do donate to Irish USMC vet. I used to donate a lot more to him back when this channel was monetized. However, we're no longer monetized, so we're only supported by those who want to donate. And if you don't want to donate, as I said, that's fine. There's plenty of other ways to help the channel. You can like, subscribe, comment. And the biggest one of all is sharing. Every time I get somebody new in here, it always, brightens up my day. Like, hey, new person. And it's hard because we're definitely pushed down quite a bit. The only way to beat the algorithm, the only way to beat the shadow banning and the algorithm, the only way is you guys sharing it. If you like it, you share it, and that's how we beat it. And we will or we won't. And you know what? If we stay at this, I'm having a good time. I really like hanging out with you guys. And honestly, if we get bigger, you bring more heat upon yourself. It's not as interactive, because then back in the day when I did Big Brother, and I've touched on this before, I had gotten to the point where I couldn't read all the comments, right? So like if they had super chats back in the day, and you see it even on the bigger channels now, some channels, they can't keep up with chat. It's going so fast. Right now I can keep up with chat, and I like keeping up with chat. Those other channels, the only way you can get somebody to read your comment over there is if you tip them with a super chat. That's a good thing as a creator. Like if I got to that point, that would be a good thing. Like, oh, my channel's doing well. I'm reaching people and people like this. And so that's great. But at the same time, it takes away from the whole intimacy that we have here. New products, speed draw holster for a use of Lysol, Flat Earth Sports. Nice. I'm not calling no dude ma'am or miss. You do you, HDP. If you want me to call you a girl, I mean, I'll say she. How's that? It's ma'am. It's ma'am. Anyway. Other than that, there's the ways you can follow me on all the different channels, including my Discord, which is kind of like a private Twitter, according to Quantum Lotus. And yes, you can share memes, you can share links, you can share photos, you can